Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Heading Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I'm your host, Scott Steen, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
Big day for us. It's our last day, Scott. It's our last day. Did you know that?
Well, technically speaking, you're going to give the 7 people in the audience a heart attack.
I know, right? It's our last day, and I will be repeating this throughout the show because I know we have a lot of people coming and going. So it'll be our last day on the Winners and Whiners YouTube channel. From here on out, we will be on where, Scott? Do you know?
In the Max Wager Network?
Yep, exactly right. We're going to be part of the Max Wagers Network, and we're going to be on the Max Wagers Network social media site. So YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook will all be under the I think actually it's going to still be on the on the Winners and Whiners Facebook, but I think everything else will just be as normal or on the Max Wagers Network. So sorry, trying to do 2 things at once here because I wanted to plug the new lineup. I'm excited. A lot of great shows that are going to be on the Max Wagers Network. It's not just us and not just Chris, of course, but it's going to start off at noon Eastern time with Midday Money, and that's your host, Sean Higgs. And then you all know Allie Burns. She's going to be hosting her show, Morning Wood, from 1 p.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern. Just Parlays gets bumped back a half an hour, 2 p.m. Eastern with Jim and Chris. And, of course, our show, we will still be remaining in our spot 3 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. And then to close it all out, right as the games get ready to go, you've got Game Time Decisions with Nick, Tim, and Lenny. That goes at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Get all your last-minute information on the injury information and up-to-date lines and things like that. So anyway, hey, we're getting some pretty positive feedback.
I mean, yeah, there's not much more to add there, right?
You know what? We're along for the ride. That's what we're doing, guys. And actually, change is hard. I get it. It was hard for us today. We were supposed to be on the new network today, and
Lawrence, I think you're misunderstanding. We're still doing the farm stuff. It just the name of the channel is changing.
Yep, you're gonna have to go.
The show's gonna stay the same. We're just switching up the name of the network, and there might be some logistical stuff, but we're still doing the show every day.
Still the same lovable duo that you've come to expect every day. We'll still be doing our Bet the Farm plays. Nothing will change except where you find us.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like when Better Call Saul went to Netflix from AMC.
Yeah,
it's the same show. You just got to find it in a different spot. And yes, James, Scott is clean shaven. Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. So yeah, we'll still be on YouTube. We'll still be doing Bet the Farm.
I'm halfway through.
What's that? You're halfway through shaving?
Haircut, but I took care of the other part.
Very good. Very good. All right. So how'd you do yesterday, bud? You do any good?
I felt great. My play of the day was voided about 10 minutes before tip-off because LeBron didn't play. But as a whole, had some hockey action, worked out well. I actually backed your play of the day with the Flames. That went well. And besides that, kind of took it easy. Nothing really surprised me too much. Delaware beating Towson I found a bit surprising. But, yeah, a lot of great games, a lot of entertaining college basketball, and we got more of that tonight.
We do. Yeah, I did all right. I hit my hockey play. I take about 2 a year. So we hit the Flames over there.
Was it a kid system play, or was it a personal?
No, that was a personal play. There was just a lot of factors. Of course, the Flames have been playing really well. They were coming back to the Saddle Dome. First time they've had a full house in fucking 2 years. And Edmonton's not very good. So I like the price in reg. We got it at and actually Edmonton money came in, which would totally baffled me. But so yeah, and then I had Dallas took care of business. Had Gonzaga, and they kind of shit the bed there.
Did you watch that game?
I watched the second half.
Okay, because I watched part of the first half, and I was actually curious what your potential takeaways were from Gonzaga. Not for them not covering. I just mean in general going into the tournament. Does that look like a team that you think is basically a lock to make the Final Four? Because right now they're kind of minus 115 to make the Final Four.
If you'd asked me at halftime, I would have said yes. They absolutely.
Did you have any takeaways from the second half that you think could be a problem for them in the actual tournament?
they stopped being aggressive. They got Holmgren in foul trouble, and then late in the game with about 5 minutes left, they got Timmy in foul trouble. And this is not a team that's going to win a lot of high pressure games without both those guys on the court for the majority of the game.
I still don't think the guards are very good.
Well, again, it was a tale of two halves. They looked fantastic in the first half. Of course, Holmgren looked great in the first half as well. And then they just tripped on their dicks in the second half. So anyway, and we got home on the farm, so that was good. The Jacks took.
Why did that randomly turn into a sweat though?
Oh, I don't know.
They had like 55 in the first half, and they ended up with 83. They really just took their entire foot off the gas in the second half.
They win by what, 30, 28, whatever they won by?
I think they won by 23.
Wasn't South Dakota still in the 50s?
They scored 60 in the end.
Did they get to 60? Okay.
They got to 60.
All right. So, there you go, guys. So we're going to have still going to be fun. And we, they're good people. Everybody I've met from there, I've liked. We worked with Lenny. We worked, of course, with Allie and just
segue
people that I've talked to in the emails and stuff. They all seem to be good folks. So everybody,
I'm giving you a chance to segue.
I'm going to. We're going to be. Is it going to be tomorrow's show? I guess because we're taping tonight. Is that the deal?
Yes, I believe we are taping tonight for tomorrow morning. I want to say
tomorrow's morning games. We're right. So we will be on with Allie, me, you, and Chris. It's the NASCAR crew. We're going to be on there with her show Morning Wood at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So it'll be fun. We're gonna do totals on three pretty much random games. We've had the game sent to us. We don't want to spoil too much, but we'll have some fun, and make sure and check us out there tomorrow on Allie's show. Okay, so let's do a couple games here up top, and then we'll talk about yesterday's action. Bruce checking by wants to know about UTSA, South Dakota State, Utah Valley. Two of those games Scott and I disagree on. We talked about them for Bet the Farm. I like South Dakota State. I like Utah Valley. He likes randomly North Dakota State to win outright. Is that correct?
For the record, by the way, I'm rooting for South Dakota State because I think that team's a lot of fun. But in a mid-major tournament where you have to randomly win the conference tournament, even though you should clearly be the team's representative in the conference, I've seen weirder things happen in these mid-major tournaments.
So you're not capping it by the game itself per se. You're just capping it via the mid-major chaos theory.
Well, the game itself also has to do with the fact that North Dakota State did hang around with this team in the regular season. So it wasn't like South Dakota State killed them. But North Dakota State looked really good yesterday against Oral Roberts. They don't guard anybody. I was a bit concerned with South Dakota State in the second half. I know that they were coasting. They shot like 65% in the first half.
Right.
It doesn't exactly seem sustainable to me. I think North Dakota State can actually score enough to hang around. The under money confuses me. I think you'll see a decent amount of points in this game. I don't really know why the total's dipped, but I do think the spread is a little bit too large for a neutral in a conference title game with North Dakota State being pretty good.
The number on that?
For the total, or do you want the rotation number?
No. The total. What do you got?
I see 150 flat, which seems a little bit low to me.
Yeah, okay. Kind of with you there. David Goodson, he's got BC on the money line. That looks good right now.
I'm saying if you want to take a hot take for an underdog, I think North Dakota State at that price, decent value. Once again, I'm kind of hoping they lose because I actually like seeing new teams, not North Dakota State, win the conference. But I don't know. I feel like that's a decent spot for North Dakota State.
UTSA over Southern Miss. I hate this fucking Southern Miss.
Go to a meeting.
No.
ASAP.
Give me UTSA. No, that's easy. Give me UTSA minus the points.
I think I'm just going to take the under.
Oh, no. I wouldn't. With that Southern Miss defense, are you kidding me?
That's the point. But the pace, I don't know. UTSA is atrocious, too. It's really a battle of both teams are awful at offense, but on the good news, both teams also suck at defense. So pick whatever you want. But, oh, God. It's so bad.
You seem really thrilled.
Yeah, I'm really not about this game. Well, it's a go to a meeting game. That's all I got to say.
Fair enough. Somebody asking about Clemson. Where the hell is that? You see it?
What, you say Clemson?
Uh-huh.
Clemson taking on NC State.
Up at the top, sorry. I want nothing to do with this North Carolina State team.
I was going to say it's either Clemson or pass.
7-24 against the number. No, sir. No,
North Dakota, not North Dakota. Sorry, North Carolina State has been awful this season from pretty much top to bottom.
Yep.
And at no point have they come close to even looking decent at any point. Clemson might not be a great team. They were still 16-15.
Yeah.
So they were still, I'd say, good more often than not.
They beat the teams they were
competitive in
supposed to
conference
beat.
play, though.
Yep. They beat the teams they were supposed to beat. Clemson or pass. David Good said UTSA dribbles like the one-arm man in The Fugitive.
It's one of those things where if you've looked at the conference tournament so far, it might just be selective recall, but I've noticed more unders than overs. Have you noticed the same thing?
Well, we talked about that a little bit with the Missouri Valley Conference, and it's a couple of factors. First of all, with the Missouri Valley, they go and they shoot in that barn in St. Louis.
Missouri Valley is just a separate caliber automatic under. I mean, that's just an automatic under machine.
Automatic unders, but you're right. Some even the campus sites have tended to skew under, and I think they're playing tighter, Scott, and I think the officials, and you even tweeted about this, I think they're letting them play a little bit.
They are. I do think that the one time they should have let them play was that debatable charge call in that Charleston game yesterday against Wilmington. It wasn't a great call, but to be honest, that's a charge in college basketball pretty much every single day, even though I think the charge calls in college are fundamentally broken. So I don't think it was a good charge call based on how it should be officiated, but the entire season, that's a charge, right?
Yep, agreed.
So I'm not surprised they made the call. I just wish they let them play. Johnny, no, we're actually not related. We just happen to have the same first name.
Scott Jr. My son does step by here every once in a while. Sometimes he lurks, and sometimes he actually comments.
We need some hockey plays every now and then, right?
Yeah, we do. 1777 memorabilia agrees with you on North Dakota State. Thinks it's going to be dramatic. I disagree. So we'll see. David,
Johnny's asking if we're good. The answer is I always win. You just have to know when to back me and when to fade me.
Nice.
There you go. I don't know if that's on a T-shirt or not, but it should be.
It should be.
It should be.
All right. Let's talk about yesterday's action, man. Let's find out the good news, the bad news, the winners, the whiners, the people that took it in the shorts, the people that took it to the bank. Let's get cracking on the Tuesday edition of Call the Cops. All right, very good. Let's get it rolling and take a look in the NCAA. No surprise right there. No, we'll start with the NBA. We'll talk about the Timberwolves.
That's the rocking chair.
Oh, sorry. Scroll up one more. There we go. Hey, how about hockey? Avalanche -1.5 against the Islanders. They led by four goals with less than 9 minutes left in the third period.
Fun fact, by the way, my friend was at the game. He live bet the Avalanche -1.5 going into the third period at like +220.
That is a fun fact. Well, we'll dedicate this to your friend. Islanders scored 3 in the final 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Avalanche ended up winning by 1. Couldn't score one more lousy goal to get there. Oof, no shorthanded goals. Nothing. Avalanche wins by 1. You had the puck line there. Oof, call the cops.
Islanders also pulled the goalie down 2, and not only did the Avalanche not score the empty netter, but they gave up a goal with the extra man. So that's how that worked,
huh? There you go.
But looking at hockey once again, if you had the Maple Leafs -1.5 against the Blue Jackets, they led 3-0 after the first period. Then Columbus came back, but Toronto still led by 2 goals with less than a minute to go. The Blue Jackets pull the goalie and score a meaningless goal in the 48 seconds left. Maple Leafs won 5-4.
You didn't even do air quotes for meaningless because
I didn't even do it. No.
On the sheet it has quotes on it, but you didn't do the air quotes. So
it was more just for emphasis.
Well, that's not okay.
Oh, Ninja, we're gonna talk about that Wilson trade. Don't worry. We're gonna talk about it.
Let's get to it. Finally, this might have been the worst beat of the night. If you had Trae Young over 2.5 3-pointers, you laid a little bit of juice, which makes it even worse. Probably -140, -150. He comes out strong. He hits 2 in the first 3 minutes. You're like, fuck, it's rocking chair time. Let's just end this in the first quarter.
And Trae Young's going to take at least like 7 of these, like minimum. Right. He's going to chuck it.
He took 5 more over the next 50 minutes, Scott. You want to guess how many he made?
0.
Yeah, he made none. He made none of those shots. Of course, it's on Call the Cops, so that's the right answer. You had over 2.5 3-pointers. You had to fucking sweat it for 45 minutes, and he didn't get there. Sorry, guys.
Well, no, it wasn't even 45. It was 50.
They went to
overtime, and he
That's
still
right.
didn't get it in overtime.
You have an extra 5.
In fact, the game ended because Trae Young bricked the 3-pointer at the end of overtime. So he was really shooting it from the beginning to the end, but he went 0 for about a 48-minute stretch, and you absolutely got destroyed if you had the over 2.5 threes.
Oofta. All right, well, there was some good news out there, and hopefully this was where you found yourself. You were not a whiner. You were a winner yesterday, and not just a winner, but a nice, easy winner because you were sitting in the rocking chair.
So the first one of you had the Timberwolves minus 14.5 against the Trailblazers. You heard Simons was out for Portland, and you knew the game was over before it started. Minnesota led by 27 at the half, and they won by a casual 43 points.
Jesus.
Well, we know Portland's awful now, but Simons really is the only player worth a damn on the active roster. Once he was ruled out, it was real. They just should have left the arena. They shouldn't have even bothered, and they got killed by 43.
Yep, absolutely correct. And we'll take a look here at the game that you and I bet on, Scott. This isn't that we didn't have this side, but if you had South Dakota State minus the 9 over South Dakota, they led by 25 at halftime. And they came out and kicked rocks a little bit in the second half, but still never got close. The only thing that got close was the total for no reason, like you said. They end up winning by 23, so congratulations there.
And the last one was actually a side that we both liked. It was Wright State +1 against Cleveland State, led by 10 at the half, and they won by 15.
Yep, very good. So we do have to talk about this, and then we'll talk about the Wilson trade because I know that's what's on everybody's mind right now. So we'll yak about that here in just a second. But we have to talk about this, Scott. This was a fantastic shot. It's one of those moments that you wait for in conference tournaments, and of course in the big dance. And we got one on Monday of the first day of the real week of conference tournaments. Let's find out who it was. I bet you can guess as we reveal today's gambling hero. Very good. Scott, tell us what happened, would you?
So we got to go to the SoCon and a matchup between Chattanooga and Furman. And that game was pretty crazy because Furman hit a game-tying 3-pointer with about 5 seconds left in regulation. Game went to overtime. Furman did not miss a shot in the entire overtime period. And yet Chattanooga trailed with about 3 seconds left on an inbound pass underneath their own basket. Chattanooga guard David Jean-Baptiste. Yeah, Jean-Baptiste dribbled to about half court, a little bit inside from 40 feet out or so, and drilled a game-winning buzzer-beater 3-pointer to send his team to the tournament. On top of that, the spread in this game was, well, pretty close. And, Chattanooga ended up winning the game, and the money line was, I want to say, minus 120, minus 130 or so. But what a shot by the kid. That's an all-time moment right there, isn't it?
And they played good defense. They defended the inbounds pass well. They defended Baptiste as he came up court and crossed half court. Really had 2 guys on him playing solid defense. It wasn't like he had a wide open look at it, but
they also had a timeout for the record that they could have used.
That's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Of course, you really don't want to use a timeout under 3 seconds.
Especially, I still think that's a really dumb rule in college. You should be able to advance the ball to half court.
Yeah,
I just think you should. It just makes the game more exciting. But it's from the absolute parking lot with 2 guys in front of him, and he hit a bomb Curry shot. And that was, even if they lose in the first round of the tournament, that's an all-time great moment for the program. And I'm sure that'll be his, would you say, biggest moment of his playing career?
I would think so.
I don't know how you're going to beat that.
It reminded me a little bit of the North Carolina State shot.
You mean the Charles one?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That, except obviously it was about the same. It was around the same spot.
Yeah, but you have to remember that was off of an air ball and that was a putback dunk.
I understand. I'm just saying it was about the same location on the floor is where that shot
Yeah.
came from.
It reminded me a bit of the Arkansas shot, the half
Yeah.
court shot where the guy's not even looking at the hoop and he just chucks it up there. But
You see-
Furman didn't. I'm going to repeat that though. Furman did not miss a shot in the entire overtime, and they still lost the game.
SVP had a graphic up, and you actually tweeted it to me or sent it to me. I'd seen it because I watched the first part of SVP's show, but I think 9 teams had done that, not missed a shot in overtime.
That was from 2013 onward, so I don't know about previously.
First time any of them's lost.
Yeah,
so
crazy stuff.
All right, so here it is. If you guys haven't been paying attention, if you've been doing some honeydews or hanging out with the family or whatever, maybe you didn't hear the news today. Denver, my God, they finally got their sloppy seconds, Scott. They finally got a retread quarterback to take over for Drew Lock. They got Russell Wilson from Seattle. All they had to do was send Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a 5th. And that's it. Wilson came with a 4th round pick as well. How do you like to be making that deal? And you're Seattle, you're like, we're not quite there yet. All right, what about a 5th round pick? Sold. Let's do it.
Me.
That's
I would have done it for a 7th round pick. Like they're just celebrating with the champagne. The thing is, I don't really know how to truly evaluate in terms of winners and losers because I'm not sure if Wilson's bad year last year was solely because of injury or because of the fact that he might just be showing signs of regression. But people on Twitter, of course, are automatically proclaiming that Denver's the winner in this trade. They got themselves a great quarterback. Now they can make some damage or, do some damage in the AFC. I don't think Seattle got that bad of a deal, did they? I mean, 2 first-round picks, a pretty good tight end, 2 seconds, and a 5th.
Yeah, no.
That's a pretty good haul for a guy who didn't really want to be there.
Congratulations, Denver. You've now moved up from the worst quarterback in the AFC West to the 2nd worst quarterback in the AFC West.
Do you think Herbert's already better than Wilson at this point?
Yes, okay. I do at this point. We'll see. To me,
I mean, Seattle's going to be screwed for years, but the truth is when you trade 2 firsts for Jamal Adams and he turns out to not be very good, you're behind the 8 ball anyway.
Yep.
So I don't blame Seattle for trying to blow it up and kind of start over. But people thinking that Seattle got robbed in this trade, I just think are wrong. I think Seattle got a pretty good haul. I don't know what more you want for a franchise quarterback that you're trading away besides 5 draft picks and a pretty good tight end mixed in there. That seems like a pretty decent compensation for the Seahawks.
Well, you and I talked about that the other day, and I said Rodgers was worth at least 2 firsts and a 2nd and a starter, and you scoffed at me. You said there's no way Rodgers is worth that. Well, may I present Russell Wilson, 2 firsts, 2 seconds.
I thought Rodgers would go for 3.
What's that?
I thought Rodgers would potentially go for 3 first-round picks.
No, it's not.
But then again, the age difference is noticeable there too. But that was kind of how I also reacted to the Denver news. It's like they were waiting to see if Green Bay would blink. They didn't. And then they immediately were just all in on Wilson because they were running out of options.
Yep.
So,
given and then you can talk about that part of it too. Is Rodgers worth $50 million a year for 4 years? Of course, in the NFL, it's not like baseball. That 4 years, that doesn't mean shit.
Well, that's
if he plays 2 years and gets hurt, or plays 1 year and wants to, he's done.
There's other things to factor in, though. One thing that's been going under the radar is the fact that the salary cap is supposed to go up by about $20 million.
I think 25 or 27.
That factors in.
Yeah.
So you're going to be more likely to give up that amount of money when you have more money to spend on your overall team. So that just kind of checks itself out. But what's your alternative if you're Green Bay? You're going to trust Jordan Love? I think that's the main takeaway from this Rodgers thing, is that they really screwed up taking Jordan Love. Because by the time that Rodgers...
You pissed off Rodgers.
Well, I'm saying, but you wasted a first-round pick to piss off Rodgers. You could have taken any backup quarterback, and that might have done the job in, like, the 2nd round.
Sure.
But the argument that I'm making is that by the time that Rodgers officially retires, Love's probably going to be a free agent, and he's going to play for a different team. Right?
Yeah, he's on his 4th season of
Correct. But I'm saying by the time this new Rodgers contract expires, You're not going to pay Love to back up while you're paying Rodgers $50 million.
He's going to be done with his rookie deal, and Rodgers halfway through there. The most he has left on his rookie deal is 2 more years, and
you're not going to keep him after the rookie deal while you're paying Rodgers $50 million. That's absurd.
James Mounts brings up a good question. How good is the Denver O-line? We're going to find out. They're not better
great. Than Seattle's. Does that count?
Yeah. Well, no, not really.
No, they're both. I'd say below average, but not. Holy crap, they're terrible.
Right. Oh, Bronco Devil checking in. Look at that's the guy I wanted to talk to. He says it's Christmas, it's opening day, it's March Madness, and it's the Super Bowl.
So I feel like I already know Bronco Devil's answer.
Is this Jeopardy? What are 4 things the Broncos aren't going to participate in?
I feel like I got to ask Bronco this because, of course, he's the biggest fan in here of Denver. Of course, you're happy about the trade because Wilson's the best quarterback you've had since Peyton Manning. However, my question for you, Bronco Devil, do you think they gave up too much? Yeah. They gave up Noah Fant, gave up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, and they threw in Drew Lock just for fun, which is addition by subtraction. But still, do you think that's too many draft picks?
Happiest guy this side of Bronco Devil, Albert O.
I think the person who hates this trade the most is Derek Carr. He ended up being the worst quarterback in the division somehow.
Yep, that's what I said. The Broncos now have the 3rd best quarterback in the AFC West.
Brad, I think Elway's keeping his job pretty safely. I think he failed upward again. He got promoted again a year ago, didn't he?
I disagree.
You think he's just done?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't. That's just how many quarterbacks have Denver has since Elway retired? Any idea? Since Manning retired? Any idea?
It's a lot. Because you had the Osweiler era, you had the Bridgewaters, you had
I'll say it's 11.
Okay.
It's 11, buddy. Bronco Devil says no, did not give up too much. Okay, we'll see. Okay. Brad Hunt getting Wilson as possible to get most dollars from that sale. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Your team becomes more valuable with Russell Wilson. Jacks up that price. Okay, so you might be able to pay his salary.
Bronco, I know Elway's not in charge. He got promoted upward where he's more behind the scenes and he's more, I don't know if he's less involved, but what is he now again? He's like president of, is it football operations?
I thought he was downgraded.
I thought he got upgraded.
Well, maybe Bronco can tell us. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's more of a figurehead position at this point.
Yeah. He's on his way out. He's got fucking 15 car dealerships or whatever. Let him go.
I still don't know why Denver didn't try this sooner. I mean, not just for Wilson, of course, but I mean in general, where the only good quarterback you've had since arguably Jay Cutler, and that's a question mark, was you getting Peyton Manning. So I figured at some point Denver would just overtrade for somebody within the last 5 years.
Yep.
They did it now.
Oh, they were ready to do it.
They would have done it sooner.
They were ready to do it. They were ready to do it for Rodgers last year.
Yeah.
Yep. He's not allowed to pick a quarterback anymore. No shit.
Yep. Yeah. Did Paxton Lynch ever start for Denver? Was he one of the 11?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He was one of the 11. I wasn't sure if he started or not.
You don't know what it's been like with Locke and Bridgewater. You're talking to a Chiefs fan, dude. You're talking to a Jets.
You're talking about a guy who watches Missouri play college football. He knows all about Drew Lock.
Right. In high school, I saw him 3 years in high school. So yeah, dude, I've seen Drew Lock. And
do you think Denver's better than the Chargers?
Do I think Denver is better than the Chargers?
I still think Kansas City is the team to beat.
Yes.
In the division.
Yes.
And we know that the Raiders are last because, to be honest, I don't want to say it was a fluky playoff run, but a lot of things kind of had to go well.
The defense. You got to
I think Denver is better than Los Angeles right now solely because that Chargers run defense is so atrocious that I just think that there's only one way they can win games. Denver's defense is actually decent.
Very good.
So I think Denver's probably the second best team in the division.
Summer Sweat says Russ makes the Broncos an instant contender. I don't know what that means. A contender for the Super Bowl? No. Contender for the AFC West? Maybe.
I think it depends on what more they do for the defense because there are some rumors that Von Miller might want to come back. Maybe. Because he's a free agent. If Von Miller comes back, we can talk about it. But as of right now, I think that Wilson's kind of in a similar situation that he was in with Seattle, where his team is good enough to go win, 11, 12 games potentially, especially with a 17-game season,
Maybe.
and then lose in a road playoff game at some point. That seems to be kind of the same boat, isn't it?
I think so.
That's at least what I'm looking at right now. I view
see.
Denver as being probably the third best team in the AFC, give or take, behind Buffalo and Kansas City.
You think they're better than?
I still think Buffalo's better.
Are they better than Cincinnati?
I tend to think so. We'll see how Cincinnati addresses the offensive line, but I mean, they got by with Eli Apple as their best corner for a decent portion of the season. I do think their run was a bit fluky.
True. Bronco pointing out that Osweiler was taken ahead of Russell Wilson.
I forgot about Osweiler too. Did I mention Osweiler? I think I did mention him.
I don't know, dude. There was so many. I was trying to see because I know that the
quarterback thing's cheating because you also have what the hell was his name? Was it Hinkle, the wide receiver that played the one game?
Yeah.
It was Hinkle, I think. That technically counts as a quarterback.
No, it's true. Yeah, the guy that was on the practice squad when everybody was hurt. Okay, so there was a number of quarterbacks taken in front of Andrew Luck. I mean Russell Wilson that year. Andrew Luck was one of them. Robert Griffin, of course, the third. Tannehill.
I was still ashamed what happened to Griffin. He would have been really good if he didn't get injured.
They blasted him. They went all in on his health for one season of the playoffs.
Well, they used him when he was injured against Seattle, and his knee gave out.
Yep, absolutely correct. So, Brock Osweiler went the second round as well. So, we'll see. I wish Bronco Devil and the Denver Broncos Ratza Ruck, and we'll see what happens. I told you I was at that Chiefs game when they played Seattle when Russell Wilson went nuts in preseason. They went, holy shit, we might have an actual quarterback here.
I've seen some conspiracies that Seattle might flip some of these picks for Deshaun Watson.
No,
so I've seen a lot of conspiracy circling because apparently Seattle's not willing to fully admit a tank.
I think
they should?
You think woke Central in the Pacific Northwest is going to bring?
I didn't say what they're going to do. I said I heard rumors about it because apparently the front office has not fully admitted that they're going to tank. So some people are connecting some dots.
Yep. With the Bronco Devil says Osweiler went to ASU. Elway's kid went there. Jack Elway, right? Good quarterback, a decent quarterback.
Who also went to Arizona State?
With the luck wishing. Yeah, no kidding. What's that?
Also went to Arizona State?
No, who?
I was going to say Daniels, the guy who just transferred because he's not very good at throwing a football.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay, so there's another piece of news, not nearly as big as this, but kind of funny in a way, kind of sad. It's up in your neck of the woods with.
By the way, memorabilia. I don't see that. I don't see Seattle trading inside their own division for Garoppolo. I don't see that happening.
That seems
unless it's a really good offer by Seattle.
Yep. Heard they like Malik or Malik Willis.
I think he's good, but you have a rookie there. So, do you want to throw him under the fire on that offensive line?
Are they going to plug Locke in?
That's what I'm saying. There's some rumors.
Obviously they have plans to use Locke. Why do you trade for your quarterback? You don't want. If you don't think they have some value, you don't want him in a trade. You're going to take a fucking linebacker. Or
there are some rumors, once again, as I said before, that Seattle might remain active in free agency and with trades to maybe find a quarterback. I think that Locke's going to be a backup plan. Maybe they just realize that Geno Smith is a complete lost cause, so Locke might be an upgrade over him as a backup. I said might. I don't even know if he is. But Seattle should tank. I mean, I don't know how they're supposed to be competitive with their current quarterback situation, but the last thing they should do is throw a raw quarterback prospect like Willis behind that offensive line and expect him to float. He's going to get killed back there, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
I think you need a gap quarterback, a gap year quarterback who's going to be okay for maybe a year, and then you turn it over to a young guy you draft. Kind of like a Fitzpatrick in a way. I know he's still under contract with Washington, but one of those guys, a stopgap for a year. You admit you're going to be terrible, then be decent the year after. That's what I would do.
Agreed. Brandon Kubas, I agree. I'm ready for football. I'm ready for USFL. We'll see. I mean, it's not the football we want, but it's the football we got. John Doe asking about Golden State tonight. No. No, not
I
for
don't
me.
know why they're laying this many points.
I've said this before. I want to see them do something. They've been awful. They've been awful pretty much since the All-Star break, roughly.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, they
when Draymond got injured,
yeah,
they kind of went into free fall.
they've won one of their last 8, covered 2 of their last whatever the fuck. I can't even hardly
Did you
count that
mention who
now.
they beat as the one win that they've had?
They beat Portland. Congratulations.
Yes. The team that lost by 43 points yesterday. They beat
Yeah.
Portland.
Yep. Way to go. It was a nice 37 point win over Portland, but they've
And the
covered
Clippers just beat them.
Yeah, they did. They've covered the number just twice in 13 games. No, I'm not getting in front of that till they show me something. This Clippers team has won 5 of their last 6, and
They got buried by the Knicks last game, which I actually am kind of encouraged by for this spot because it seems like that Knicks game was just a complete look ahead.
Yep.
But I do think with Ty Lue as a coach, who's a relatively, we can agree whether you like him or not, he's a no-nonsense coach. He's willing to call out players. He's willing to make sure he has the best effort from his players. I think it's a pretty good bounce back spot for the Clippers to get embarrassed by the Knicks and then to come back and look pretty sharp against Golden State. So I think it's Clippers or pass.
I'm asking about Phoenix and Orlando. By the way, I agree with that. I'm no desire until Golden State does something.
Draymond's coming back most likely against the Wizards. So I'll wait until he comes back and I'll reassess. But right now, there's no way I can lay points with this team.
What about this Phoenix team that's failed to cover in 4 of their last 5? They're only 2-3 in their last 5 straight up. They had a nice 8-game winning streak before that, but
half the players died. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've got some real injury problems on that team. You've got Devin Booker out, Chris Paul out, Cameron Johnson's out tonight. Of course, Scott, how do they do it without Frank the Tank? Frank's been out since November, poor bastard. So yeah, I'm going to pass personally, but it's Orlando or pass for me, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah,
I'm kind of torn because I faded Phoenix on Sunday. I had Milwaukee minus the points. They somehow covered. I'm not really sure how they covered that game, but Phoenix actually looked really good for a team missing its best couple of players against the defending champions. It might just be the way Phoenix operates with Monty Williams. But it really seems like whichever players they plug in, they just don't really lose that much, at least in terms of production. Of course, they're going to lose to some games they shouldn't. They needed a buzzer beater against the Knicks. But that line does look kind of trappy in a way, where Orlando looks a little bit too easy with all the injuries Phoenix is dealing with, and yet Phoenix is still laying this amount of points. It's kind of an okie-doke spot. I do agree with you, though. I got to pick the healthier team getting points here.
right.
But the line does seem a bit trappy, doesn't it?
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Cavaliers -3 at the Pacers.
No Jared Allen, of course, because he broke a finger, so he's out indefinitely.
Yep. Trying to see how healthy Indiana is.
I think I'm just blindly taking Cleveland anyway.
Yeah.
I immediately wrote off this Pacers team when I backed them twice in the first, I think it was 2 months of the season.
Yeah.
And they lost to a Milwaukee team with no Giannis, no Middleton. I'm like, what is this? And they just lost outright. And I realized this team just actually sucks. And there's nothing to like about this team. You have Halliburton, who is a good point guard. Buddy Hield, who's a streaky 3-point shooter. But they got rid of Sabonis. Turner has been injured for most of the year. And you look at the actual injury report, he's still injured. Shocker. But I'm going with Cleveland because even with Jared Allen and LeVert out, they still have Garland. They still have Mobley. They got Markkanen, who's pretty good. And Kevin Love's been pretty good off the bench. I still think Cleveland has enough actual firepower. And unlike Indiana, they actually play some form of defense.
Yep, absolutely true. All right, quick reminder here, guys. We're coming down the home stretch. I wanted to remind everybody that from here on out, we will be on the Max Wagers Network. We have merged. We've joined up with winners with picks and parlays. We're now part of the Max Wagers Network, which means you have to go to the Max Wagers YouTube channel to find the show from here going on. We'll be there starting tomorrow. So if you're by your computer, if you have the opportunity, just open up another tab with YouTube, go to Max Wagers and subscribe, and that way you'll get the notifications whenever we go live. So
I'm assuming that Winners and Whiners Twitter or my personal Twitter will make a post about it. So
yes,
just look out for that too.
yes, correct. Yeah, we'll put links. If you don't follow Scott and I, number one, you should. And number two, we'll put links in there and the Winners and Whiners Twitter site as well. So
You should follow me. I'm ranting to myself out there.
he is. He rants. What do you put? 10 or 15 rants up a day?
I'd say somewhere between 5 and 10.
Okay. I give you the pity likes every once in a while. So
yeah, I appreciate it.
all right, number Chris Lyons talk about Utah Valley State. I lost. Last game went to 182. Lions 138. Want to know about the total in Utah Valley State. Like I said, we talked about that game briefly. Scott, you want to weigh in on what are they? What is Utah Valley State? You know?
Well, if I was going to take a total in that one, I would take the team total over, because why would I ever expect Chicago State to do anything?
Yeah, you can't really count on the Wolverines. That's right, they're the Wolverines. I forgot. But this is again, Chicago State just can't shoot at all.
Yeah. So if the game's gonna go over, and I know you mentioned the total being 182, I believe last time out, Chris.
180. It landed 188. Went 60 points over, dude.
Okay, but the point I'm trying to say is that if you're expecting it to go over, Utah Valley's doing most of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, in that game, Chicago State shot 54% from the field and 45% from downtown. Utah Valley State shot 72.7% from beyond the arc.
And how many points did they score?
69.1 from the field. They scored 101 points on just 55 shots.
Okay, so take the 101
and 17 and 19 from the line, by the way.
I'm saying the total's in the 130s. So you're looking at some obvious regression, because they're not going to shoot that well again on 55 shot attempts.
Team total over.
Team total over.
Yep. They
should still reach 80 with relative ease.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fair statement? So I'm just going to go with the team total over there.
Yeah, we talked about this play. We talked about this as it was in the running for farm. Yeah. But there were just too much regression coming on that total. They out rebounded Chicago State 33-15. Fuck, how do you pull down 15 rebounds in a 40-minute game?
Well, you pull down 15 rebounds because one team shoots 70+%. Well,
that's good. Yeah, because there's only 48 rebounds to grab. Yeah, good point. So, it's for me. I'm all about Utah Valley State. You were less convinced of their ability to cover the number.
Yeah, on the side, I was a bit of a question mark, but right. I do like the team total.
Yep, team total. As far as playing the regular over,
I think it's over or pass. But my argument is, why would you want to inherit Chicago State's awful offense for a total when you can just rely on Utah Valley State by themselves?
I get the logic. It's 132.5. You figure Utah Valley State steps off the bus and puts up 80. So now you need 50. Now you need 53 from fucking Chicago State to get it.
Yeah, but what's the team total though for Utah Valley?
Well, let's see. So you got basically 66 and a half, 66 and a half. So about a 73, give or take.
So if you think that Utah Valley is going to walk in off the bus with 80, then just take them to score over 73 and a half.
Agreed. All right, let's get it rolling here, bud. Let's do the thing let's do that thing that everybody stops by to see. Once again, you can catch us from here on out on the Max Wagers Network, and that's going to be across all platforms. If you watch us on Facebook, go to their Facebook page. Now, that's the one thing that we may still be on the Winners and Whiners, because they may not have a Facebook, so we may be able to get us on Winners and Whiners Facebook. But as far as the other platforms, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, it'll all be Max Wagers starting tomorrow. So please get over there and subscribe, click the bell. You know the drill. So, okay, here we go. Scott, it is time. It is Tuesday. It's the second day of the second season of our show, and it is time to put on our overalls, climb aboard the John Deere tractor, get out your keys with the lucky rabbit's foot, and fire that bad boy up. Because once again, we hear from the cash cow that it is time to bet the farm. All right, very good, Scott. I know we had a bet the farm play yesterday on the Jacks How'd that go?
We had the team total over 80.5, and they scored 83.
Cue the banjos! Yeah. All right. We're going to make a play today on a team that we hope it's not their last game because they've been very, very good to us so far this season. This is a team.
Title game.
It is for the title. That's right. It's for the championship there in the what's the conference?
It's the CAA.
The CAA, the Confederates. No, that's the CSA. It's not the Confederate
The Colonial.
States. Oh, that's right. Yes, it's the Colonial. You guys, we're going to play UNC Wilmington. Getting
Lawrence,
points.
once again, this isn't the last time that Bet the Farm is going to be played. Maybe technically on the channel because we're switching channels, but the show is still going to be around.
Yes, still be. It's Breaking Bad. It's Better Call Saul. It's no longer on AMC. It's now moved to Netflix. That's us.
Yeah.
All right. So, Bet the Farm, UNC Wilmington plus the 2.5. UNC Wilmington. Pretty good track record against this squad, Scott, against the Delaware Blue Hens. They won both regular season meetings, and they won them as an underdog, just like they are a dog in this one. UNC Wilmington 19-10 against the number this year. Delaware just 14-18 ATS. As far as your Ken Palm stuff, get your fix. UNC ranks 197 in defensive efficiency. Delaware checking in at 219. Not a ton of difference, but you'd be surprised what 20 spot difference makes as far as defensive efficiency goes. And UNC Wilmington has been playing good basketball lately, especially against the number. They are 12-1 ATS in their last 13 games as an underdog. Guys, some of them we struggle with and some of them we don't. This one we don't. We like UNC Wilmington right here, plus the 2.5 points. Scott, final thoughts?
It's kind of on principle. They've made us so much money during actual conference play. We feel like we have to take them one last time in conference play.
And yeah, well, it's a good play. It's been a solid play. They beat Delaware twice this season. I see no reason to jump off the train now. All aboard UNC Wilmington plus the 2.5. That's going to do it for the farm. That's going to do it for the show. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget, find us tomorrow on Max Wagers Network. It's the new VSIN, Scott. That's what it is. We're damn excited about it. Of course, check out the offer. Once again, we got a great deal going on with our partners over there at BetMGM. You can check that in the show box. Get all the details there. Basically, you're still getting the $1,000 risk-free first bet. Whatever you bet, they will match it if you lose. And, of course, if you bet $10 on any NBA game, you receive $200 if anyone makes a three-pointer. So there you go. I believe we've covered all of our bases. Thanks very much for stopping by, guys. We appreciate your loyalty. We really want to see you guys all tomorrow. Just get over there at Max Wagers Network. Subscribe to our channel. You can catch us on Allie's show tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, and you can catch us in our regular spot 3 p.m. Eastern, as Scott and I will do our very best to help you wherever we are. We will help you to head back to the window. Take care, everybody.